So speaking of, being proactive, if you're thinking about kind of gearing up to do a 1031 exchange, whether, you've already sold your property and you got to find something, or hopefully you haven't even listed your property yet, you're in that planning process. What are some things you should be thinking of ahead of time to make sure that you have the highest chance of success with a 1031?
Okay. So one of them, like on the listing appointment, I always think this is really important. Like Jordan, when you're on the listing appointment, look and make sure you understand who the real seller of this property is. Is it an entity? Is it an LLC? Is it some sort of entity, a C Corp, whatever? Because this could be problematic if there's multiple members, like to an LLC. So maybe there's 4 different parties to an LLC, none of them are related to each other. And everybody thinks once they sell it, in their heads, without communicating this to anybody, once they sell it, each of them can take their 25% and do what they want to do. And that's not true. Because from IRS's perspective, the LLC has been reporting this property. So the LLC is the owner, the LLC is the seller. The members aren't separating, can't separate out. So in our next session, we're going to talk about this on strategies and what to do. And that could really cause trouble, but there are strategies, but they don't realize it. So they have this idea and they get this property in contract, and then all of a sudden they start telling you, oh yeah, we're all going to go our separate way. That's what we need to figure out up front.
I see.
Another thing to figure out up front is don't waste time. Try to figure out exactly what you want to do. What type of properties you're interested in, what neighborhood, what city, what state. Figure that out so that you're not using your precious clock, just randomly trying to figure out pieces of real estate that may work. Have your plan figured out, because that way you're not wasting that time clock.
Yeah, that's a great point. So basically be prepared ahead of time, understand your entity. I think too, knowing, based on your example of the other guy who failed, know what you can realistically sell for. So what you're replacing, know what you can afford in finance, since you're going to be, usually you have to purchase, at or above the value of what you sold, right?
Exactly. And financing is important. Start early on that.
Yeah. So know the financing piece, and then identifying what and where, right? Because I guess you can, a lot of people that are 1031ing, especially maybe commercial or multifamily, if they're looking to, go out of state. I mean, that's a big venture to figure out, hey, where do I want to be, right?
Exactly.
And then what kind of asset class, right? Understanding is
exactly
industrial, multifamily, single family, important stuff. So be prepared, basically, right?
Exactly. And that's a nice formula to having a successful exchange. And it's really, in the end, that preparation time and effort that you did pays way off, because you're not scrambling and stressing yourself out with this, getting with the 45 days marching forward and not finding anything.